Welcome to the Seattle Tacoma International Airport, where my journey to Munich starts. Today, I am flying United Economy to Denver and then onward to Munich and Polaris. Recently, United changed their gates to the B terminal in Seattle due to overcompetition by Delta. This means that if you're a TSA pre-check, it is a hike to get to your gate, and I mean a hike. Now I'll speed it up a little bit. Actually, that won't work. Let's try 8x speed for the walk to the gate. Though Seattle is a major international hub, mainly for Asia, United has always lacked in their service to the city. United serves Seattle from all of their hubs at least once daily, but has no international flights, as the West Coast hub for that is primarily San Francisco. United sees just 5% market share compared to 51% for Alaska and 24% for Delta, respectively. Seattle has seen exponential growth without any real modernization of facilities, causing a large inconvenience to those who fly through it, in my opinion. Total passengers year to year sits at about 53 million, putting it as one of the busiest airports in North America. The B gates where United has relocated is much older than the A gates they previously flew from. Additionally, they are not just older, but more cramped as well. And here it is, Gate B7A and the non-retrofitted 737-900 that will be taking me the 2.5 hours to Denver this afternoon. Being a Premier Platinum member of United, I am allowed Group 1 boarding no matter what. When they scan your boarding pass and you are seated in the exit row, always remember to kindly accept the given duties. Can't forget the lucky tap on the door as you get on the plane. As I turn right, the United Domestic First Class is visible. On the 737-900, there are 20 recliner-style seats arranged in a 2-2 setting with about 38 inches of pitch. At the front of economy, there are extra legroom seats for increased comfort. As we move back, we'll find my seat, 21D, for the 2.5 hour flight to Denver. On a side note, on these newer aircraft, always remember to store your bag on its side in the overhead bin to make sure everyone can fit their carry-on on the aircraft. After an extremely bumpy 2-ish hour flight, I arrived about 30 minutes late due to an APU failure on the ground in Seattle. Don't forget to thank your crew on the way out. Anything can improve their day. Welcome to the beautiful addition to the B gates in Denver. I really do love transiting this airport compared to O'Hare, as I find it much more spacious and often less crowded. On United, this is always my choice. Another benefit of the add on is the 2-year-old Grab and Go United Club. And with my international business class ticket, I am allowed entry to this cozy space. As I enter the Grab and Go Club, I go straight for the refrigeration section. In this section, there are juices, smoothies, sodas, water, sandwiches, and salads. I often find these prepackaged snacks to be as good, if not better, than the food in the normal United clubs. Also, in this space, there is a coffee bar with an attendant where you can find such delicacies as matcha lattes and Italian sodas, as well as other made to order coffee drinks. The one downside to this space is there is extremely limited seating, most notably a few stools and a cozy fireplace to accompany them. As I exit the Grab and Go Club, I start the very long walk to the other side of the B terminal. This is where the United Club I will go to is located, and also close to the gate that will take me to Munich. In my opinion, these large walks are one of three reasons that people avoid Denver International Airport, and to me, it is completely unnecessary. After sitting on a cramped plane, it is nice to get out and walk a decent distance to your next gate, as long as there isn't a tight connection. The second reason people avoid DIA is totally fair, and that is the turbulence that occurs due to the Rocky Mountains. This mountain wave turbulence can be very unsettling coming in and out of Denver, but remember that the aircraft are built to survive any kind of turbulence, and there was only one crash due to turbulence 70 years ago in Japan. Lastly, there are the conspiracy theories related to the airport, which are prominently displayed on the airport's own Instagram. I will not further comment on these other than I find it amusing that the airport leans into these conspiracy theories. Here is the entrance to the B40 United Club. The biggest downside of transiting DIA on a Polaris ticket is that there is no Polaris lounge and you're relegated to the same lounge as everyone else. Up the escalator, you can see that the lobby is decorated for Christmas, as I took this flight 2 weeks prior. The first floor of the United Club is a comfy space when not overcrowded, with all types of seating and a full service bar with free drinks. In an attempt to differentiate themselves, United has even put shuffleboard tables in the lounge for passengers to pass the time. The bathrooms in the United Club are also very nice, with normal amenities and even a bathroom attendant. Up the escalator to the second floor of the club, there is more cozy seating for the thousands of passengers that use the lounge every day. Additionally, you will find the biggest self serve hot buffet on this floor. One of my favorite touches in the club is the make your own Coca Cola machines. With all those flavors, it seems like there are infinite soft drink options, which is a nice touch for those who don't drink or simply prefer not to drink while traveling. As I walk through the club, you can see all the numerous types of seating arrangements they have, from benches to loungers to park chairs, even. Although sometimes it can become a bit of a maze with just how many seating options there are. Being that this video was taken during final season, I found a private workbench and sat down with my cherry lemonade from that Coke machine. Due to me being a chronic procrastinator, I took two finals with the Wi Fi working flawlessly. Now, with that out of the way, I am able to continue my recording and enjoy the rest of my trip. Now it's time for another quarter mile ish walk to gate B24, where my 787 9 to Munich awaits. Like I said, I actually really enjoy walking through DIA, and this was no exception. On this flight, I had pre boarding as I was traveling with a Global Services member, United's highest unpublished status. Global Services is the equivalent of Concierge Key on American and Delta 360. As I enter through door 1, I turn right and find my seat 3A. 3A is a true window, being much more private and directly next to the window. 2A is the seat in front of me, which is on the aisle. These seats are much less private and also feel more uncomfortable in the bed position. On the seat is Saks Fifth Ave bedding, which in my opinion is the best in the sky. The rest of the cabin is arranged in a 1-2-1 layout, alternating closer to the window and closer to the aisle. The United 787 9 has economy arranged in a 3-3-3 configuration, which I find highly uncomfortable. Premium Plus is arranged in a 2-3-2 and has a decent amount of recline, more than enough for sleeping. However, the grand prize is Polaris with 48 seats in a 1-2-1 configuration, which is very comfortable. Cheers to a good flight. United offers Prosecco as the pre-departure beverage on long-haul flights in a real glass. However, I find the Prosecco they provide to be quite revolting and would highly recommend choosing the water instead. On the left side of the seat, you'll find the seat controls. To move the seat between the upright position and the bed, there is a wheel which you move forward or backwards. Second, there is the control to raise or lower the leg's leg rest. Following that, there is the lumbar support control, which is greatly appreciated when working upright during the flight. Finally, there are the controls for the do not disturb on the outside of the seat and a built in lamp on the wall. Directly in front of you is a large touchscreen entertainment screen. On the right side of the seat is an adjustable armrest which can be lowered for sleeping, where you will also find the literature pocket. Fortunately, it can be a little sticky. Looking up, there is the lamp and reading light, which comes very handy in my experience. This might sound like a little tangent, but I never really got the purpose of boarding music, and I don't really enjoy it. Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments below. Since I forgot to do this on the flight, I'll do it now. Here's the amenity kit review. Inside, you'll find a packet of amenities, including my favorite facial mist and some other lotions, a very plush eye mask, which was great for sleeping on the flight, some soft tissues, never used those before, socks, always a nice goodie to keep, and also a very key thing is the dental kit for brushing your teeth and feeling refreshed on the aircraft. Finally, there are some earplugs and a little pen. The bag is by Brooks Brothers, a brand I'd never really heard of before. The tray table very easily slides out from under the entertainment screen and can be used as is or folded out to double in size for the meal service. The biggest advantage of this tray table is the fact that even during meals, it is easy to leave the seat to use the restroom or retrieve something from the overhead bin. The footwell in these non bulkhead seats is cramped, but even with size 13 feet, I am able to sleep on my side relatively comfortably. Now, here is the uninterrupted takeoff footage as I blast out of Denver at about 8:45 at night. Service started about an hour and a half after takeoff due to moderate turbulence with a hot towel. I would also like to take this opportunity to point out the lovely faux marble countertop and the fact that the windows are locked in the bright setting, something I have never seen before. The flight attendants come through the aisle with the drink cart, and I opt for a San Pellegrino and cranberry juice to create my own delicious mocktail while watching the movie 42 about Jackie Robinson. For my appetizer, I chose the tomato tartare, which is served on one big tray with many accompaniments. I absolutely demolished this appetizer, and in my opinion, is the best I have ever had on United Polaris. This, however, does come with one complaint. The bread that comes on the appetizer is ice cold, soggy, and completely inedible. However, this is easily remedied as I opted for warm, fresh garlic bread with my appetizer, which was delicious. Something I had never seen before is the salt and pepper shakers with cayenne pepper. Nothing special, literally just cayenne pepper. The main course arrives, and I pre ordered the center cut sirloin with Cafe de Paris butter. As you can see, the tray is left dirty from the appetizer, and you are forced to use the same silverware for the main course. Unfortunately, the steak is overcooked and tastes mostly of airplane oven. However, I was hungry and ended up eating the whole thing along with most of the potatoes and some of the undercooked, overcooked asparagus. Overall, a disappointing meal, but that's nothing new for United Airlines. Now for the good. United's made to order ice cream sundae. I chose to take mine with caramel, hot fudge, and almonds. It was served a little oven frozen, but not offensively. The sundae was absolutely delicious, and I devoured it. I almost considered ordering seconds. The sundae is an absolute must try when you're flying United Polaris. United's in flight entertainment has a feature that is unique to them: the connections page. On this page, you can see all the connections of all the passengers on board the aircraft and if they are on time or not. I personally find this extremely helpful and cool. There's also a page where you can view all the drinks on offer versus having to fumble through a cheap paper menu, which I also appreciate. The movie selection on board is vast with everything from classics like Casablanca to new releases. I usually take about 40 United flights a year and can assure you that I never get tired of the movie selection and I'm able to watch something different every single time. Much of the same sentiment goes for the TV section, and I would recommend checking out Eric Anders Lang and his show Adventures in Golf. Something I had not noticed before was the Spotify section, which has a really good selection of both podcasts and pre made playlists to pass the time on these long flights. However, my favorite entertainment is the flight map, which I can watch for 24 hours straight. United's flight map is highly interactive and informational. You can find such information as location, route, speed, altitude, flight progress, and heading in both imperial and metric measurements. Now, you may have noticed how shaky the video was, and that was due to passing through some moderate turbulence. I knew this because I went to the Aviation Weather Center, where for free you can see turbulence reports, forecasts, and pilot reports. For those nervous flyers, I feel like this is such an asset that is never talked about, and I encourage you to look at it before your next flight if you feel like it. The Polaris bed is one of the best in the sky at 6 feet 6 inches long and about 22 inches wide. Here is my bed made up with a mattress pad, two pillows, including the gel pillow, and two blankets, making for an extremely lavish sleeping experience. Standing at 6 foot 3, I am more than comfortable when sleeping in Polaris. After about 5 hours of off and on sleep, I wake up over the eastern coast of England with about an hour and 45 minutes left in the flight. Breakfast service starts with a hot towel, which is always a nice thing to wake up to. As I wait for the drinks to come, I watch the North Sea go by and wonder what is happening beneath me. My golden honey oats end up served all on one tray with their accompaniments, and my drink of choice of orange juice and chamomile tea. This is the best airplane breakfast I've ever had, and there is not much to screw up with overnight oats. The fruit and macadamia nuts are the real star of this dish. Unsurprisingly, I finish every last morsel of the breakfast and am completely satisfied for the rest of the flight. A quick note before descent. You may be wondering how I booked this ticket. I booked a business award redemption from Seattle to Munich with a stop in Denver for 80,000 United miles. As you can see on this calendar, there are plenty of days during the month of December with these types of fares. You just click on the desired day and find an itinerary such as this one connecting in San Francisco. United miles are valued about 1.3 cents per mile, making this 80,000 mile redemption worth about $1,150. However, a paid one way business fare runs around $4,000, making this a very efficient use of miles. As the descent into Munich begins on a beautiful Bavarian day, I would like to share my thoughts on this experience. The lounge in Denver leaves a lot to be desired as the United Club does not hold a flame to Polaris lounges, in my opinion. The dinner was a disappointment, with the dessert being the main redeeming factor. The service was not friendly and was strictly transactional, which personally is not what I look for when flying business class. The bedding amenities and sleep quality in Polaris is fantastic, and the main reason you should book Polaris on an overnight flight. At the end of the flight, the breakfast was amazing, which left me with positive thoughts about the experience. In my opinion, this flight is worth the 80,000-mile redemption every time and is great value. However, I would not book Polaris on a full fare paid business ticket if other options were available, such as European and Asian carriers. I just think that their catering service is much more consistent than United's, but if sleep is your thing, stick with Polaris, you won't regret it. After that smooth and on time touchdown, I would just like to say thank you for watching my first video ever. I encourage feedback in the comments as it will make for a better viewing experience in the future. Lastly, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Till next time, thank you.